Hey everybody, we are trying an experiment tonight. We have two different cameras going. We've got the iPad and the iPhone, and we're trying to do simultaneously YouTube and Facebook. So we'll see how this works out. Anyway, I just figured there's some people that are on Facebook that never get over to YouTube, and I don't want you guys to miss out on this information. It's life changing. So you guys don't want to miss out on this. Anyway, so we are back. Gosh, it seems like forever since we did one of these lives. I can't remember. I think for the last 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks ago Friday we were in Indiana, and then last week we were obviously in Denver, and we didn't do one last week in Denver, did we, babe? I don't think we did. We tried, but we just we were freezing, so the camera was shaking. Any of you that were there, we were outside for a while, and it was cold. Well, relatively speaking, for us, it was cold. Anyhow, we had an amazing time in Denver. Everybody was so great. We earlier in the day, Vicki and I got to stop and visit with Mark, the Word Whisperer, and his beautiful wife Nicole. Just had a great time with them. They gave us a shout out on their live last Friday night. We actually had some people show up that heard about us on that Friday night live for Mark. So thank you, Mark. I know you probably won't see this, but if you do, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you giving us a shout out and letting everybody know. So
sorry, guys, I'm just trying to redirect this camera.
So we've got the meetup slash training roadshow went terrific. I think everybody had a good time. We learned a lot more. This thing is going to evolve as we go through this, and we learned a lot more about how to make it better. I think the Denver one was better organized than the one we did in Texas, and I think our next one, wherever that's going to be in early spring, I think that'll even be more organized, and we kind of learned a lot about how to do the structure. So but all in all, we were super happy with it, and everybody seemed to have a good time and learn some stuff. So thank you all for the support, especially those that came and spent some time with us. Special thank you to Charlie and Marlene, who hosted us, and we actually went to dinner with them on Thursday night up in Rangeley, and Charlie presented me with the sign, and I love it. Thank you, Charlie. And then on the back, even more so. So this is one of the things Dad used to say a lot, and so this was a kind of a tribute to Dad. So thank you so much, Charlie. It's super special, and I'll treasure it. Thank you so much.
Sherlock's in the back playing. He'll be up here, I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll probably make an appearance here. And then we were surprised by Tessa made a bunch of signs for people that might be walking by the park, the event where we were underneath an overhang, and so she made some signs for us to put out there, which was really cool. This one weighs like 70 pounds. But anyway, so thank you so much, Miss Tessa. And then she brought us some vegetables and some salsa, and
spaghetti sauce, and pickles.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And I think she had some wood there too. I think we brought home some pieces of wood as well. That we can use on projects. So Tessa, we love you so much. Thank you so much. But we love you all. You guys know that. So that is that. And then, of course, the biggest sign, I have to stand up for this because this thing weighs 117 pounds. This one was a collaboration with Tessa and Frank and Charlie. Charlie did the carving.
There you go.
Charlie did the carving, Frank did the layout, and Tessa did the finishing. And we just love it. So this is there. It's all signed, autographed, which is something that we do.
And Ron, that's right, Ron Osman. He sent.
Oh yeah, Ron Osman sent the board. That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, this is a sister board to the board that I used on Ryan's sign PDS sign. So this is actually the same board. This one weighs a lot more. The PDS sign weighed the same before I did some power carving on it and took a whole bunch of material off. But anyway, we love this. Thank you so much, guys. We're absolutely honored that you would take the time to do this. Frank had to do the layout and then send it to Charlie, and then Charlie got it to Tessa. Crazy. Anyway, so that is that. We wanted to just kind of recap that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this morning's video. Len Schmerlo stopped by his place on the way home. He's up in Colorado, and you guys, if you saw this morning's video, absolutely spectacular. And so thank you, Len, for inviting us to come by and kind of film you and your lovely wife. I'm glad she stepped in there for a minute, and you were getting pestered the whole time by Sherlock. So thank you for your patience.
Yes, I am, Bull.
But we just had a blast with Len, and if you guys watched that video, if you haven't watched it, it's definitely worth watching.
Beautiful country.
Len is a master with that scroll saw, and so he wants to add routing to his scrolling, like many of you have done. So anyway, Len, thank you so much, man. Love to come up there again when I've got more time to do some fishing. Been talking to Ryan about that. We'll see what we can do on that in the future. Anyway, so we're doing a giveaway tonight for another flashlight.
Charlie, I think you'll live up to it fine, just fine. He said he got a nickname. Now he's got to live up to it.
What nickname?
Brat.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. So another Nebo flashlight. This is rechargeable, and it's magnetic on the back. It is cool. Very cool. It's got a couple of different settings. I've got one like this. It's camo color that I use all the time. These are my favorite flashlights, 500 lumens. And so we will be giving this away, donated by Danny Meadows.
Rachel says she wants that.
Yeah, I want it. But yeah, anyway, I love this little flashlight. So my little camo one, again, I use it all the time. This never goes back the way it... All right. We'll worry about that later. All right.
Bull says he wants your fidget spinner.
Sorry, Bull. You got to come to Arizona. If you come to Arizona, I will consider it. But other than that... Or you can spend $1.25 and buy one. So I want to go over a couple questions tonight, and we're going to be doing this giveaway here after the questions. And then we've got a couple announcements. One of them is very important that you guys will all want to know about. So let's get into the questions. So the first question that I got was from Mark. And he said, just a quick question, if I may. When you do a transfer onto wood using the label backer paper method, do you transfer onto wood after applying sanding sealer? So the answer to that is yes and no. The only time I really apply sanding sealer is when I'm using the clear pine, the select pine, that is. This is the select pine. I picked up a couple boards yesterday when I was at Lowe's, and when I get it back here, first thing I do is seal it up. Now, I have been, and you guys have seen many videos where I've used the sanding sealer in the critter, or I'll brush it on, whatever. But lately what I found is that I didn't need to use, so the sanding sealer that I normally use, if I use sanding sealer, is, I know this picture is really pixelated, so don't try and zoom in on it, but it's Minwax water-based sanding sealer, easy cleanup. Works great. I got no problem with it at all. It works fine. But what I found is that this just spray lacquer, spray clear, works just as good. As far as my experiments with it, it works just as good, and it's a little bit more convenient. I don't have to drag out the critter. I just spray all 6. I spray on the ends more than like 2 or 3 coats on the ends, and then the other 4 sides I just hit with 1 coat of the clear, and that seems to do it. Now the reason I do that, is to prevent bleed. Well, I do it for two reasons. To prevent bleeding, when I spray my black, I don't want the black to bleed into the grain. Pine has a tendency to do that. Redwood, cedar, the other materials that I use, white poplar, doesn't seem to bleed. So
Kelly, seems like we're having, I don't know, for those watching on Facebook, is it blinking in and out?
oh,
Yeah.
is it? Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. Again, this is an experiment, and sometimes our signal isn't the best out here, so doing double camera kind of thing might be a bit of an issue. But anyway, so I put more on the ends because that's where moisture gets in. So the first reason I use sanding sealer, or now I'm using this clear, and I think honestly any clear will work. Doesn't have to be exterior, because you're gonna sand it all off anyway. It really doesn't matter. The first reason is to prevent bleeding, but the second reason is to keep that board sealed up. So if there's moisture in the air, it won't attack and soak into part of the board on the bottom side or the top side or whatever. See, if you've got your board laying, well, let me just grab one of these.
Leonard did us once in a while when we're getting an upgrade. Well,
An upgrade of what?
internet.
Yeah, well, we're trying.
We're out in the boonies. We got the best we can get until
We're trying,
Elon Musk opens up those.
The Starlink. We're still waiting. We're on board for the Starlink. We're in the queue, I guess. And I think once that Starlink, we're hooked up with that, I think it's going to change everything. At least I hope. So
everyone's saying that's looking good.
Yeah.
No problems.
So if you've got your board sitting on a bench and you've got moisture that can get to all the sides except for the bottom, what's going to happen is it's going to, if it's not sealed up, it's going to cup on you, or it could cup on you, especially if you're in a high humidity area. So that's the reason. So I do apply sanding sealer on pine, but on redwood, cedar, white poplar, the other woods that I use primarily, I don't use a sanding sealer or this as an alternative for sanding sealer. Just don't find I need it.
Question.
Yeah.
It's actually from Rachel. What sealant would you suggest for shelves that are going to be inside and outside?
Inside and outside.
She's in Indiana, so.
If it's bare wood, Rach, I would if you're gonna paint them, that will seal it up. If you get a primer paint, that will seal it up fine. But if it's gonna be bare wood, honestly, I would use Minwax Helmsman spar urethane, or I would use Czar polyurethane. If the ones that are going outside. If it's just inside, you can use this stuff and it'd be fine. Although this does say that it's UV resistant, but I don't trust that. I want to use an exterior, especially if you're in an extreme climate like Terre Haute, Indiana, which gets really extreme from what I hear. So I would use Helmsman spar urethane or Czar water-based polyurethane. And Helmsman spar urethane makes a water-based and an oil-based. We don't have the water-based out here. It's all oil-based. But that's what I would use, Rach. That's what I'm familiar with.
Bob, I put you in the directory today.
Cool. Bob Stratford. Yep. So if you want to see how to do the inkjet transfer that Mark was asking about, go to Facebook Live 12-17-20, or also video hashtag 305. And that will, I kind of do a whole demo on the inkjet transfer. I think on the 305, I think I was using freezer paper, but now I use label backer as an alternative. And that's another great point, guys. Always try and check the brand newest information, because, I've been doing videos for, 14, 15 years. We got over 1,600 videos, and I evolve. I find new stuff. I find new techniques. I find new ways. So things that I did back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I might be doing different now. So always try and find the newest.
What's the brand on that? It's Rust-Oleum.
Yeah, Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2X Ultra Color Cover clear gloss. I think
Yes,
it's just a
we do need
lacquer.
more thumbs up if we want to give
Yeah.
away a prize.
Yeah, somebody
Thumbs
said
up,
that.
guys. That's says you're
Yeah.
gonna make Miss Vicky mad if you.
Yeah, don't do that, guys. You know, my health is at risk here. Please don't make Vicky mad. So that is that. So
Where do you get label backer?
okay, so here's the thing. We use so many labels that we just have stacks and stacks and stacks of them. A lot of times you might go to like hospitals. I know people have had like spouses that work at hospitals that they just throw that stuff away. Any place, any kind of office that prints labels, you might ask them if you can have their label backers. They, you know, it saves them.
Frank says we should start selling them. We use them for fire starters for the wood stove, Frank.
We do, we do. Actually, they burn really well. They're great. Roll them up in a ball and start the wood stove. But that is an interesting point. That might be something if we have enough of them. Might be worth us selling.
We're getting a lot of
At a
thumbs up
minimum.
on Facebook. And
Good, good, good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you guys. Thanks so much. So, second question is kind of related to the first from Kiyoki. I've been watching the videos on applying sanding sealer to pine. What I don't understand is why you would apply sanding sealer to the back side of the board when you only carve the front side. Also, sanding sealer with the grain. Also, sanding with the grain after carving the design makes sense to me, but sanding the back cross grain, I don't understand. Could you please explain? So, first part of the question, and I kind of answered it before. The reason I put sanding sealer all over it is because I really want to seal up the board. If you don't seal up the board, if you only put it on the front, or on the edges, or even worse, just the front where you're going to carve, then what will happen is if you have moisture in the air, which we all have some type of humidity, we do a certain time of the year, then what will happen is moisture will get to the side that's not sealed up, and it will cause cupping, warping, twisting, all of that. So you want to seal that thing up, especially if it's pine. Now, if it's not pine, you know, and you don't have any issues with it, you know, every place is a little bit different. But that's the reason why. If I'm going to put it on the front, I'm going to put whatever. And the general rule is, I've learned over the years, whatever you put on the front, you put on the back. That's just the general rule. Otherwise, you have a mismatch of finish, and you could have drying at a different rate if you don't have the same finish on the front and the back.
Somebody said that, Mid-State Rustics, is that,
That's Don Spicer.
yeah, Don, he said, my local Walmart does not have one single can of paint on their shelves. That's because they're out on
Wow.
a ship out in a dock somewhere.
Did you, Don, this is just an idea. Make sure that you check the automotive section and see, I didn't bring in a can, but that primer, that sandable primer, that's the same stuff as the primer that I normally use.
Nancy Peterson says local Walmarts here said they are no longer going to
Carry paint.
oh my.
Crazy. All right. Well, then the alternative is order it online, or I can't believe that auto parts stores will never carry black primer, because auto parts stores, you know, there's people that are bodywork people, and they got to have black primer. So that might be a good source. Just make sure it's flat or it's matte finish. But honestly, I buy everything online now on Amazon pretty much. So yeah,
Marvin says let's take a field trip and unload some ships.
I'm up for it. So that is the first part. Second part is, and this alludes to what I talked about, brand newest information. Kiyoki says, also sanding with the grain after carving the design makes sense to me, but sanding the back cross grain, I don't understand. Could you please explain? So, what Kiyoki has seen is me using the bell sander, which I really don't use much anymore, and I was sanding cross grain on the back side of my signs. The biggest reason for that is, you guys have to remember, and this goes back to probably videos that Kiyoki saw, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. when Dad and I first started doing this, we were doing it out on site at flea markets, craft shows, all those kinds of things. So we needed the fastest way possible to sand the back. The fastest way possible is cross grain, and it really doesn't matter because it's the back of the sign. So that's the reason that we started doing just a cross grain sanding on the back. The other reason is when you cross grain sand on the back and you sand with the grain on the front, then when you put a finish on it, the finish is so much better on the front. It's kind of an optical thing. In my mind, it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of an optical thing where they look at the finish on the back and it looks kind of rough and you know, kind of sparse, but then it's got a really, really good finish on the front because you've sanded with the grain. So those are the two main reasons why.
Somebody
But
said,
biggest reason was speed. But now I use the disc sander, which doesn't really matter. It's orbital, so that's not even a thing anymore.
and Tyler says she gets hers at Ace Hardware, or her paint.
Her paint, good, yeah. Ace Hardware, True Values, you know, I would go with that. Maybe Walmart just wants to get out of the spray can business. Who knows? But yeah, our Ace Hardwares and True Values have all of that. So those are two questions that that come up quite a bit, both of these questions. So, but the biggest reason for using that for sanding cross grain when I'm using a belt sander, which I haven't used in a couple years now, is speed. That really is the thing. So that's question 1 and 2. We are moving on. Wow. Yeah, we got to pick it up here. So big announcement. Many of you may know this already, but USPS Priority Mail has raised their rates several times over the last couple years, and we haven't been keeping up with that. So starting November 1st, our standard shipping is going to go up from $8.50 to $9, and that is unfortunately we just have to pass that on, guys. You know, many of our shipments that we ship out are much more than that. They're $11, $12, $13, $14. So, but $9 for the small flat rates, which is, you know, most of what we ship. That will cover our expenses and exactly what we pay for shipping. So, be used to that. If you're sending in router bits for premium membership, be sure and up that to, rather than $8.50, up that to $9 starting November 1st, right, babe?
November 1st.
Yeah, November 1st. So sorry we had to do that, but that's, you know, we've held off as long as we can. So November 1st, $9 will be, and it will be automatic if you're ordering through the website.
No, Jim, you're good because it doesn't start till November 1st. Your router bits will go out tomorrow.
Yep, I'll get them done. So that's that. So let's do the giveaway. All right. So here is the giveaway. Unfortunately, domestic only, guys. But cool little flashlight. I am going to send it out to the first one that answers this. So are you guys going to be able to see on Facebook? And okay. All right. So here is the question. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning's video, when I did that interview with Len Schmerlo, what town does he live in Colorado?
All right.
So first one that we see,
Bull got it.
Bull Jordan.
Bull Jordan. Everybody got it, but Bull was first.
Bull was first. Hey, Dillon, Colorado.
And Len says Dylan.
Oh, Dylan. Len's here.
Yeah.
Hey, Len. Be sure, Len, go on and see all of the great comments. Everybody loved the video. Go on and see all the comments on your video this morning. It was terrific. So thank you again, and thank you for being here.
Are you going to be sharpening? No, we're not sharpening bits at the woodworking thing in Phoenix.
Oh, at the demo? No, we can't. Unfortunately, we can't. No, we've only got 2 hours. It's not like an all-day deal like the road show. We've only got 2 hours, 11 to 1.
Okay, Bull, we'll send it to Carmen.
Send it to Carmen. Okay. All right. So yeah, I can't, unfortunately. I can, if you show up there, I'll take them home with me and I'll sharpen them here, and then that will save you shipping one way. You can bring them to me and drop them off when we're in. Is that Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring them to me, Scott, and then I'll take them home, sharpen them, and ship them back to you. So it saves you some shipping one way. So we can do that. But yeah, I won't have time.
Hush.
We won't have time to sharpen bits down there. But that was the next thing. Was next Friday.
Bull says I talk bad to Tabby about him all the time.
And Sophia says hi and she misses us.
Hey,
Hi,
Ophi.
Peanut.
So, what did I do with this? Oh, there it is. So,
Okay, so Scott, when you bring your router bits, make sure you bring the 850 to ship them back, and then put your name on the package. So if I get it home, I remember who it's from.
yeah.
RG is doing great.
Who?
Ryan Garrett.
Ryan Garrett. I don't know why I didn't trigger that. So, yeah, Scott, and also be sure and put them in the tubes. Keep them in the tubes in the box, so it makes it nice and easy to transport, and they won't get bumped around in there and chip your carbide. So that is that. So next Friday, here's the deal. Next Friday and Saturday, we are going to be at Woodworker's Source doing demos, 11 to 1. 11 to 1 in Tempe on Friday, and 11 to 1 on Saturday in the Phoenix store. Woodworker's Source down in the Phoenix area. You can just go online and get their address, but it's going to be a blast. I've got some really cool stuff planned, and we're going to be giving away this one, and then I've got another one that I'm in the process of making right now, so we're going to give away 2 of these, one at each of those. But also, next Friday, we're not sure whether we're going to have a live or not, because we will be in Phoenix next Friday evening. If we do a live, we will have some very, 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 very special guests. I hope it works, but we'll be at a restaurant with
Jim
some.
Walters said, "Is that a self-portrait of Eric?" No, there's too much hair, Jim.
I love it. I love it. Hey man, put me right up there with Beetlejuice. I'm fine with that. One of my favorite movies of all time. There's rumors there'll be another one, but they've been rumoring that
No,
for.
we got 37, Shirley.
So
Extra.
So anyway, yes, if you're in the Phoenix area, please come out and see us in Tempe, 11 to 1 on Friday. In Phoenix, 11 to 1 on Saturday, and we should have a blast. It should be a lot of fun. And I think that Woodworker's Source, they gave us a shout out on Instagram this morning, and I think they were sending out emails. So come on out. We're gonna have some fun, make some sawdust. Let's see. Next week's videos, we're gonna have finally have something on the road show. I think it's gonna have to take a couple videos for all the road show stuff. We've got hours and hours, and I've got to try and find out how to compress all of that. But we've got a lot of super great content, just really, really great. And thank you, Frank Jenkins, for helping us with some of that content. I got if Frank is here.
Nathan.
And Nathan, yes, that's right. We came home with Nathan's content that he filmed for us.
We got it today, Frank.
We got it today, Frank. So I've already started working on it. So I'm hoping that next Wednesday I'll have the first road show video. He's over here if you're looking for him.
I was going to say pick up your boy every once in a while. Where's that?
Come here, Sherlock. Come here. Now you.
He's picking up something.
Come here. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Oops.
Whoa.
Just kick the board.
Hey, hi, Sherlocky.
Nice view. Thank you. Thank you for that, Sherlock. Put that down. All right. So there he is, everybody. He's doing well. He did great on the road.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He is definitely a road cat now. Not road kill. He's a road traveling cat. Yes. Yeah, he loved it, man. He was up on the dashboard. He was all over that place. He absolutely loved it. So we will be taking him on the road. We won't be taking him this next weekend to Phoenix because we're staying with some friends, Jill and Jim, down in Phoenix, and they have a big dog that probably will eat Sherlock. Anyway, so
I doubt if
we're
she
gonna
would.
we're gonna leave Sherlock here. But that's it, guys. We gosh, I got it all done.
Love
Talked
you,
fast enough.
Extra.
Talked fast enough to get it done in 30 minutes. So, guys, please give us thumbs up. Please like and share the video. Give us comments. Let us know. Obviously, if you have any questions on any of this or anything else, Eric at Make a Wood Sign. Have a great weekend. Hope you guys are blessed like we are. And hopefully, if you're in the Phoenix area, we'll see you next week.
Michelle said, take your pups on the road. We don't have a vehicle big enough.
Yeah, we need an 18-wheeler to...
Love you, Namine.
Love you, sis. So that's
All right.
it, guys. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And we will, if all goes well, we'll see you next week, probably just on YouTube, because we'll be broadcasting from the restaurant if we can get a signal and if it works. Yeah. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.
See you next week. Bye.